Let's see. Small face, my friend. How are you? Nice to see you. Hey, Greg. Greg says, "So everyone, this is Greg from California, USA. Greg, how come you are not a moderator? You used to be. How are you, my friend? Always nice to see you. How have you been, my friend? So I said I might read some of my stuff, some of my old writing. Hey, Danny. Danny says, Greg, small face yogi. So we'll see if anyone shows up and they want to do some reading. They want me to do some reading. I'm not a very good reader. I mean, I'm a good reader. I can read. I understand what I read. I love reading. But reading out loud is not the uh, most enjoyable thing for me. Getting a little bit better. I think it's something that takes practice. I greatly admire those who are good public speakers and can stand up and naturally and remember, um, you know, word for word, line for line. Uh, hey, Austin, how are you? We'll see how this evening unfolds. No, that reminds me. I have 5 memberships to give away to the channel. Don't know who's gonna get them. It's all done by chance. Let's see. Hey, Dale, how are you? Dragon Food is here. Says Ashley is live. Awesome. Are you over there and you're on her channel? You can tell her to come on by and drop a link if she wants, or if you want to drop a link. I always like having her up when we're doing our own live stream. You can send people over there as well. Oops. That is our friend Thrive and Glow with Jill. She's got a new short up, and I want to leave a comment real quick. Yep. So I'm working as we talk. I'm working as we work. Working as I work. Here's the thing, YouTube. If you're a content creator, if you want to be successful, whatever your definition of success is, um, you do have to uh, work at it. I'm doing the quotations. It's not really work. I'm just sitting here having fun. But that means supporting people, not just those who support you, but support others just for the sake of supporting them because it's a fun thing to do. All right. Um, I do have to admit though, sometimes you can get spread thin a little bit, meaning that every so often, because I start following more people, and you get caught up in other people's channels and stuff that um, sometimes, unfortunately, sadly, it seems that some people might, at least temporarily, slip through the cracks. Hey, Sniper. Sniper says, greetings. Well, thank you so much. Hello again, Yogi. Hello, Martine, my friend. How are you? Clark says I might start doing the 5 Tibetans again. I thought it improved my posture a lot. Any tips you can give on them? I found about them through a small book. It said 21 repetitions is a goal. Yep, start with 3. Sometimes I've started with 1. I think I probably have the same book. I don't remember the author. I know exactly where it is. Last year, I hurt my back doing something pretty silly. Um, and it was all the yoga that I did, everything that I was doing. Had a hard time uh, rehabbing it, which was unusual because normally I'd hurt my back and I could rehab it in days. But this took a long time. And one of the things that helped, and I started it about a year ago, right around this month, because I wrote about it. Let me see if I can find what I wrote. Um, the 5 Tibetans helped quite a bit. Martine, thank you again. You're such a kind friend. There is a link for our friend Ashley if anyone wants to visit. You guys are kind friends to let me know that Ashley is live and to drop the link for her. Much appreciated. Um, our friend Austin is there. Dragon Fruit Man is there. So again, guys, if you want to hop in, say hello. Hey, Dan. Kudo says you guys come on later tonight, like 9. I got to go for a bit. Little bits in Arizona. I'm looking at Ashley's live stream. It's got a good crowd. All right. Hey, Dan. How are you? How was the walk? Stephen says hi, poor man. And Martine says you're more than welcome, Yogi. You are a true friend. Bill says I believe the author was Kepler. Can't remember exactly, but in the book I also had a meditation which I tried but didn't seem to work for me. It also spoke about celibacy a bit. Yeah, the sixth Tibetan rite, you're supposed to be celibate to practice. And I believe he had a chakra meditation. Said it wasn't necessary. Martine says, just my bit to support a good friend. I am looking forward to repaying the favor. Stepper says, cool night, Frostley already. Yeah, it cooled down today and this evening as well. We had a nice day yesterday. It got up to the high 50s. I'm going to see what I wrote about the 5 Tibetans last year. It was January 31st. Let me know if you want to hear it, Dale. It's nothing big. Just like I said, what I write I consider to be lyrical essays. Alien Frog King is here. What's up? How are you, my friend? It's nice to see you. How your workouts going? Routine says, eating more than I could, yogi and spades, and I appreciate it. I'm happy to. You are a channel that I deeply, deeply believe in. You as a person, someone that I deeply believe in. Christmas baby Nick says, so there. Hey, hey, let me do the let me give away 5 memberships. I get to do 10 a month. So I try to do 5, and then I try to wait until like middle of the month. But last year I did it all in one shot. Martine says you support in so many ways. Just a little appreciation back, my friend. That's so kind of you to say. The Frog King says just about over a 9-day virus, still sneezing and snotty. There's been something going around all over. Back in about, I guess, mid-December, I had it for about 2 weeks. I know lots of people over the UK had it as well. Martine says I will be celebrating my 2nd year on YouTube this month. Wow, very nice. What are you gonna do to celebrate? Cat says Phil Yogi and friends. Food from afar, YouTube. Yep. So Dale, I don't know if I have any tips outside of the book. I actually took a class. Thank you, Eric. Good point. We got some jewels dropped from Eric. Yeah, I don't know if I have any tips. I did do a class on how to teach them. I have a video on my members channel that I put out. I should do another video now that my back is feeling better. It's a complete standalone yoga. Good for so many things, as well as yoga asanas done with mindfulness are part of a spiritual path. Hey, Frog King, have you ever done the 5 Tibetan rites before? Let's see. Martine says thinking of doing a mini mukbang live. Interesting. Hey, Michael. Michael says, "Hey, Yogi, how are you, Michael? I'd like to see a mukbang." Danny says, "Alien Frog King, baby Nick." All right, so let me see who gets 5. Let's see who it is. She cooks and roasts. Nice. Was gifted. Amazing Amanda was gifted. I was hoping Amanda would get one. African Jojo and Rebecca. So that is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Drawing Arts and Vlogs. Support channel was gifted. That's a shame because that is trending, and trending is already a member. Happily so. I'm glad that she's a member. Michael says, I'm good. Just got back from doing the weekend errands. So for those who were gifted a membership, I know not everyone here, I hope you find something worthwhile there. It is time for me to add some more content starting this week coming up. Martine says, or will be a mini as I don't eat that much. So I will fast 2 days before and only get what I can eat as I don't like waste. Gotcha. Frog King says, yes, I think so, Eric. I used to do Qigong routine regularly, daily for years, Tai Chi daily for over a decade, Kung Fu forms, Neogong takes a lot of time though. So what I liked about the 5 Tibetan rites is even when you work up to 21 reps, you can do the whole thing probably in under 15 minutes, maybe even sooner. Hey, Sue. Sue, congratulations on your viewership. Big, big numbers. Hey, are you guys connected with the Alien Frog King, who used to be Hybrid Jim, who used to be Barefoot Burpees? He is old school burpee practitioner who did it all. Sue says Yogi Rebecca and Yogi and Smile. Smile Face says Cat Jack. Hey Cat, how are you? Martine says, and it's different for my channel. The only thing I can think of for I can think of for 2 years celebrating. Huh. What would you cook for that? Sue's waving at Martine, food from afar. Michael says, my throat is so sore, I might have to rest it for a week. I can talk, but more I use it, the harder it gets to. Um, so what do you originally do to your throat? Is it from the voiceovers? You definitely want to rest it, as you know, premieres are a big thing for you, and now doing those voiceovers, or not voiceovers, but voices. Martine waves at just when Sue. Frocking says, I used to have a job with lots of downtime between activities. So I'd get maybe 4 hours per day free time. Just had to be available. I got all my forms done, all the Kung Fu calisthenics. Even got to read more books while getting paid. Nice. That's the type of job to have. Hey, how was winter for you? I know for a lot of other friends in Great Britain, it's been tough. It's been a tough winter. She says, waving an alien frog. She says, just got a nice capture of the moon and planet. Nice. I got some more owls today. Um, yesterday, 2 days ago, just missed a shot of a hawk. The same hawk that's been hanging out with me for a while. Martine says, won't be cooking, probably be takeaway from somewhere. I don't normally do takeaways either. So that's something different for a celebration. Uncle says, yeah, I think so. I think it's just overuse and sinuses. Really, I should be fine by next Wednesday. Rocking says, was a great job. Yes, I got made redundant. I was working in a mental health facility. Yep, Frogking says, been a long, cold, wet winter. And I know how much you love working out outside. Not make it cold though, hardly any snow or ice. Huh, I know other places, I guess not far from you, have gotten pounded by. Were you affected by that windstorm a couple weeks ago? Or was it last week? Ortiz says, think I deserve a day off from cooking on the celebration. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point, Martine. That's an excellent point. I I can't take a film clip of anything in the sky. I got 2 days ago. I got some geese flying in V formation over some power lines early in the morning. And as I was doing it, I immediately thought, just one Sue would love this. Anytime I see Eric Lapointe mentioned this too. Every time I look at a plane overhead, I think just one Sue would love this. It's funny, those connections that we make and how they pop up. It's nice. It's nice to think of someone in connection to the thing that they love, you know? Hey, John. John Z says, what superpower do you wish you had? It's a good question. On a sappy sentimental note, it would be to practice, to be able to practice true forgiveness and have it be less of a practice and to stick more often on a, like on a real super, you know. I've always gravitated towards superheroes that don't have superpowers. Batman, um, Green Arrow. However, Flash has pretty cool superpowers. So I might have to go super speed. Frog King says about 10 days ago, the windstorm, I wasn't much affected. I think it was more northern Scotland in the north. Gotcha. Frog King says superpower, probably flying or more floating. I was thinking Alien Frog King, maybe doing pull-ups, dips from a tree. As far as I'm concerned, Alien Frog King already has superpowers. If you go to his channel right now and you watch him work out, you will swear that he has superpowers. Super mobility for sure. John Z says, I always thought magnetism was cool. Yeah, it'd have to be selective magnetism though. Imagine if you had the superpower of magnetism and you were magnetized all the time. Every time you walk by the street, everything is just coming right at you. So yeah, it's selective magnetism. Spider-Man's got some pretty cool superpowers. Magneto, yep. Ortiz says the storm battled us some. People are still getting over it. We had to get electric techs in from other countries to get our power back for everyone. Wow. What's the worst superpower? That's a good question. There was a guy that used to come in and roast me all the time, and he said, I think Eric Lapointe might have been here when he said it. You look like the Spider-Man version that was bitten by a regular spider, which just cracked me up. Made me think of the worst superpower. Man, I'm thinking of that's a good question. I can't think of anything. Maybe hearing. If you had super hearing, because then you're picking up everything all the time. It could be painful. Martine says, I have my superpowers cooking. I don't need any more. That is a pretty tremendous superpower. It's definitely a gift. Here's what I love. Someone who can cook, they have the gift of creativity and they have that ability to give that gift to other people, the ability to make people happy through their own creativity. That's pretty amazing. Uh, Michael says, I'd rather be Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four. That would be great for the joints. Supposedly, in DC Comics, Plastic Man is the most underrated. Yeah, super bendy. You're pretty super bendy as it is, Frog King. Extra stretchy. John Z says, if you couldn't control it, then it technically wouldn't be a superpower. Then it would be a super weakness. That's a good point. Frog King agrees. Harsh, regular spider. It made me laugh though. Superhero equals paranoia. That's true. So they were talking about me the entire time. Super loneliness. Would that be a power? Martine says, I don't need super hearing, but I'd like hearing properly. Yeah, my dad suffered both hearing loss and eyesight loss in his later years, which for him was devastating because he loved to read, loved listening to music, especially old time country music, and he enjoyed watching the news. Sniper says, Dowser Man. That's another thing. You already got that, Sniper. Sniper has his own um, superpower. Definitely a super talent, that's for sure. Martine says I'm pretty deaf. Can you get a hearing aid to help? The new ones where you actually people don't even notice it. Martine says I have to use earphones to listen to YouTube or etc. What's the best tip for chips? Um, Probably for me, being vegan, um, and someone who doesn't eat chips anymore. The problem with me and chips is, you know, when you're vegan, you get vegan chips. Technically, you can call it a salad because it's made out of vegetables, right? Plain old salsa for me. Spicy. Laser eyes could be useful for opening mail, toasting bread, silencing enemies, lighting candles, lighting someone's cigarettes from a distance so you don't have to breathe it in. Martine says I'm on a waiting list, Yogi. I hope it comes soon. They made such a huge difference for my father. Oh yeah, guacamole is really good. Yeah, that's a good point. And it's also mostly you can get it vegan. So remember, even if you're not vegan and you eat an entire bag of vegan chips, you can tell everyone that you just had a large salad. Sniper says French fried chips or crisps. We need to get that right first. And that would be crisps. Potato crisp or um, tortilla crisp, right? Is everything chip wise a crisp, or is there any kind of distinction? Hey, Tandra. John says, other than Earth, what's the coolest planet? Well, unfortunately, they kicked Pluto out of the Planet Club, or did they let it back in? I always thought Jupiter was pretty cool. Guac is probably the healthiest dip. Yeah, you could, low sodium salsa is pretty good too. Guac or salsa, probably the healthiest. Martine says, yeah, I might agree. Saturn's a pretty cool planet. Martine says Saturn. Saturn. Sniper says, John Z, may I suggest Earth isn't a planet? Let's see what John Z has to say about that. Saturn is losing its rings. Actually, makes me sad. God says he may. Um, why is it? Hey, John, why is it losing its rings? I haven't heard that. That is sad. I remember when John Z came in the morning live stream, uh, and he definitely helps. He definitely helps liven up a conversation. Sniper says, Eric, we have tortillas and crisps. Many, many different types of crisps. Gotcha. So you don't consider tortillas a crisp? Like if you were to buy a bag of Doritos in somewhere in Britain, would it be called it doesn't matter. I'm getting lost. Eric Point says, "Oh, its ice is dissipating." Eric Point says, "Sharks existed before Saturn's rings did." Interesting. How did that occur? Why did it take so long for Saturn's rings to show up? And what are the consequences of Saturn losing its rings? Anything? Stepper says, "Nope." Are you talking about um what's going on? Can you really consider that a one-hit wonder? My favorite one-hit wonder. It'll change every time you ask me that question. Tonight I'm going to say My Sharona. Frog says crisps aren't usually dipped. They're too thin and brittle. Eric Point says it loses its cool in space. I guess that'll make Mars the coolest kid on the block. Doritos are Doritos flavored tortilla. Gotcha. Smile face is back. How you feeling after your workout? Hey, for some new people who might be here, make sure you subscribe to the Alien Frog King. Running down the length of my thigh, Sharona. So you remember that. Man, my generation was filled from late 60s to all through the 70s to the 80s, filled with one hit wonders. Hey, Running Boy. Running Boy says, posted my video for today. I'd appreciate you guys giving it a watch. Absolutely. Let me bring up your channel right now. So I will remember. Brian Shaw will break Leonidas Archon. East versus West. Brian Shaw's a big guy. What's he weigh, Running Boy? Hey, where are your watch hours at? Frog King says, quite like another girl, another planet, but after a few listens, it's a bit tiring. Did you know? I don't remember which song it was. Jimi Hendrix was considered a one-hit wonder because only one song, I guess, made it to considered a hit. Although he was an incredible artist, quite a few artists actually were considered one-hit wonders. Michael says, "Oops, my screen went blank for a second. Got too many windows open." So the chat's coming back up. Just give me a second. Michael says, "I see Eric Lapointe is lurking somewhere. I saw his thumbs up pop up." Yep, he sent three. I missed two of them. Thank you, Eric. Jules. He was in the chat dropping some Jupiter information. Runner Boy says, I am the one wonder." Swampface says tired. It's 0004 here. I'm about to go Dream World, but I felt good after the workout, as always. Nice, Swampface. We're glad to hear that. Hey, Smileface, make sure you subscribe to Alien Frog King and check out his workouts. You're going to be super impressed. One of it says last arm working video did not do well. They come and go. In a day's time, honestly, I can have a YouTube short hit 4,000 views and another one get 12, like in a day. It varies for me. I don't know why. But I decided when I started doing it, I'm not going to go up with the ups. I'm not going to go down with the downs. I do the nature shorts because I love that display of patience when you have that camera in your hand and you're out in the woods, you're out in the field, and you know something's going to happen. You don't know what it is, and you're just waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. Gen Z says, "Will Batman be a brat? He always had his parents around." I don't think so. His father seemed pretty. He seemed like a good person. I think he would have kept him grounded, and he still would have had Alfred. So I think that would have kept him grounded. Doesn't talk about his mom much. Michael says, "Hey, Uncle Point. Sorry I woke up late this morning. At least I caught the last bit of your stream." 2380 with 5 days being held. So we're thinking 500 and something. Yep, Frog King says, "Didn't know Jimmy was considered a one hit." Hey, Nightmare. Me again. Hello. I appreciate that you dropped the It's Just Me. How are you, Nightmare? Frog King says, maybe not John. He seems quiet and retiring by nature. Yeah, I agree. Gandhi says he got Chiefs or Eagles. I think Chiefs are probably due for an upset. This is what, their third time? I'd like to see them get 3. Not many teams get to do that. What do we have? Pittsburgh? I guess technically Green Bay. They won the championship before it was the Super Bowl, and then the first 2 Super Bowls. San Francisco. And right there, guys, I've used up the extent of my football knowledge. Frog King says, "Too kind, Eric." Man, I've been watching you for a long time. I know what you can do, and it's across such a wide variety of stuff. I'll be honest though, the most impressive for me is the mobility. Best Super Bowl party food, wings for non-vegans. For vegans, anything you bring, anything you bring. Michael says, "I'm tired of the Chiefs winning all the time, so I'm probably not going to watch the Super Bowl this year." Might be an upset though. Runner Boy says, "Chiefs suck." Yeah, you heard that, Burpee Reaper. No, he likes the Raiders. So he might agree with you, Runner Boy. Gandhi said Batman's dad was supposedly in Maroni's pocket and tied to the mob. That's why he was killed. Makes you wonder. Interesting. Hey, of course they keep writing and rewriting that. Did you see him in Flashpoint when he became the alternate Batman? Nightmare says, "Good, Eric. Hope all is well on your end." Thanks, Nightmare. It is pretty good. Tanya says, "Hi, Michael." Michael says, "Hey to Tandra." It is 23:10 here. Time for bed. Good night, all. Hey, good night, Frog King. Thanks for hanging out. Always appreciate you being here. It is like old times. Barefoot Burpees, back when he was Barefoot Burpees, was one of the originals, hanging out with me and Reaper, Destiny Forever Walks PhD, Mocha, Paul from Oregon. Odom, our good friend Odom. Michael says, "Hey, Nightmare." John says, "Mahomes has made the AFC Championship 7 years in a row, 5 Super Bowls, and won 3. Doesn't sound like an upset to me personally." That's a good point. It's a big record there. Jim says, "Thanks, Eric. I'm working on it. Had 3 months off handstand training. First day back in it today. It's been the hardest thing ever tried to get. You've been persistent, though." Frogking says, "Ciao." Take care, my friend. Nightmare says, "Hey to Michael." John says, "What do you think about Robert Downey being Doctor Doom?" Speaking of alternate timelines, I heard about that. Good for him for doing something different, stepping into a new role. Especially, are people gonna know? Is he gonna be visible, or is it gonna be like Thanos, where you don't really, see the actor beneath it? Kanye West should play Superman. Do you know there's actually, I don't know how much of the movie was filmed. Nicolas Cage playing Superman. Very weirdly. Of course, everything Nicolas Cage does is weird. Um, but he was playing him as an alien, as technically Superman's an alien. John Z says, "Culture is funny today. They seem to hate winners, but in the 90s, when Jordan won 6, everyone loved him. Uh, is it oversaturation created by the internet or something?" That could be. It's an excellent point. Look how much people hate Tom Brady. Nightmare says, "Thanks, Smallface, for your comment on my video." Kanye would be the Riddler to me. It would be a good cast. Taking my supplement. We're going to get some new content coming out, Nightmare. Hey, Kayla. Kayla says, "Yogi, hi, boo. How are you, my friend?" Kayla says, "How are you?" I'm doing pretty good. We've been being entertained by John Z. Kayla says, "Happy weekend, everyone." So the Super Bowl's next weekend, right? What is the most mysterious state in the U.S. to you? New Jersey. Maybe New York. New York has the Catskill Mountains. Catskill Mountains was written quite a bit. Headless Horseman, Rip Van Winkle, supposed to be haunted. Even the Native Americans tread very lightly there. New Jersey has the Pine Barrens, home of the Jersey Devil. Here's a state, the most mysterious state. How did Connecticut have the world's greatest pizza? That's a mystery that might never be solved. Nightmare says, "Just new content soon, Yogi." Nice. Look forward to seeing it. John D says, "Thank you. Appreciate the shout out. Love this channel." Awesome. Thank you, John. I always appreciate you being here. I'm amazed at the diversity and quality of the questions that you can ask. John Z said, "That's such a cool fact about the Catskills." Yeah, I've backpacked through the Catskills, and they do have a certain quality to them. Of course, Arizona, and parts of California, the Sonora Desert. Um, all kinds of weird stuff happens there, but all kinds of weird stuff always happen in deserts anyway. Nightmare says, I do need to search it up, though I got a lot of hate on the last one. Small Face is back again. I thought you'd be fast asleep, Small Face. What, that was, what is happening to, Kai Sine? Did I say that right? You did get a lot of hate. Clout Chaser, Bozo, TF that I just watched, thumbs down. Use more AI voice. You reach a row, delete this. Nah, you tripping. Bro, what are you yapping about? Wow. Hey, that's good though. You got reaction. I saw that. I just read that. That's amazing. Waiting, man. Again, that's good though. Small Face says, got about 5 minutes before I go to Dream World. With a T. I still would mispronounce it. Sinet? CNET. I actually never heard of him before. I'm just amazed at the, um, man, at those comments. And look at Nightmare laughing it off. That's how to do it, guys. John Z says, I guess the headless horseman was running on nerve function without a head, like a chicken or something. I think that would be the metaphysical explanation. Thank you, Kayla. Say it, synapse. Synapse. Gotcha. So who is he? What's he do? And people like him, and Nightmare, you don't like him? Nightmare says it's all part of the fun. That's why I think it's so awesome. Dream World is a cool mirror level event. Dream World. According to many traditions, yogic, Buddhist, Course of Miracles, Gnostics, that we are literally living in a dream world. Dollface, yeah, it's okay. Snap will do great. CNET, right? I already forgot. CNET. Neighbor says I don't dislike him. I just knew that it would make me confused. Holy cow. 2.2 K views. Hey, I'm looking at it. Weird. For long form content, 2.2 is incredible. Man, you know what? I wish you were monetized because that would have brought in a little bit of money for you. Hey, if we got you to 50 subs, you think you do any live streams? John Z says, what was the first cologne you used in high school when you're trying to be fly? High karate. Does anyone even remember that? I don't know if I actually used high karate or not, but I remember it. Probably Old Spice, which I still like, by the way. Although I don't know if I actually used it in high school. I did remember using some in middle school for the eighth grade, seventh, and eighth grade dances. John Z says CK1 for me. I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Smalface says, well, Kai is alive somewhere, just like me. So that's that. So who is the guy? Who is he? Smalface says, John Z, who you asking? Everyone. Hey, Skeeter. Skeeter says, everyone cheers. Brother Yogi, positive vibes. Thank you, Skeeter. It was fun watching you hang out over at Maddie's. You and Danny. Emma says, monetization is a long way for me, sadly. I'd love to do some live streams. Well, hey, let's get you to 50. Is anyone here not subscribed to our friend Nightmare? We can get you monetized. Eric Lapointe and Tandra are going to be monetized in less than a year of actually doing regular content. I don't know if Tandra had content before a year. I know that she like really got serious about her channel. I think she said in June. John D says high karate is called jujitsu. Nowadays it is. Of course, we all know in the 70s, everyone was kung fu fighting. Drakkar was the move. I've used Drakkar. Smalface says Nor. Or Pume for the ladies. Sorry for being one-dimensional. Smalface says Skeeter. Nightmare says much appreciated. Absolutely. You've been a good friend and a big supporter for me, Nightmare. Anything I can do to help you, just let me know. Dan said sub Nightmare. Awesome. It's a nice walk, Dan. You think it did you good? Are you feeling better afterwards? Michael says just sub Nightmare. Aqua Niglo, Aqua di Gio. There was another Aqua something. I don't remember what it was. Nightmare says, thanks, Michael and Poor Man. Don't want to write a Bible about, is it Kai? I have some varied opinions and perspectives, so I keep it to he's live somewhere, just like me. I don't even know who he is. Jazzy says, if fish were fast as lightning. Such violent times, man. The 70s. Hard to believe Hard to believe that I survived them. With everyone kung fu fighting. John Z says, Nightmare, you've been a friend and a confidant. And if you threw a party. He's saying that our friend Nightmare is a golden girl. Smallface says, got to go. Sleep. Have a good night's sleep, Smallface. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out twice today. As well. Man, you see Smallface everywhere. Smallface supports everybody. Smallface says bye. Michael says, take care, Smallface. I don't know if I have ever watched an entire episode of The Golden Girls. Nightmare says bye to Smallface. Smallface sends some love. You're a good guy, Smallface. That's for sure. Poor Man says Smallface seems happy too. He does, doesn't he? Everywhere he goes. So if this gives a thumbs up to Nightmare. Michael says, I don't think I even know what the Golden Girls is. That's surprising because it's still in like repeats and it sort of had a resurgence. The best bad 70s movie, I like Shaft. Man, there was a lot of bad, Shaft was definitely a good bad movie. I don't know if anyone's actually gonna remember this. I don't know how many S's it has in the title, but it's and it was about a scientist who was trying to invent a formula to change people into snakes. And he was experimenting on people. And he hired a person to be his assistant. Um, and he was giving him shots, saying that it would keep him uh, safe if he was bitten by a snake, but it was actually turning him into a snake. It's a pretty bad movie. The 70s and the 80s filled with bad movies. They don't make bad movies anymore. Like they don't intentionally make those type of bad movies. Timer says, you built such an awesome community, Yogi. I'm just grateful to be part of it. I got to admit, I lucked out. I got really lucky. The right people just showed up. There's been some contention, here and there. This still is a little bit. But I always surprised. I've been on other people's live streams and they say, uh, Eric, we like you, but your channel is just too full of drama. Which I never defend my channel. I never defend myself, or seldom. The truth is, my channel is always 100% drama free. That doesn't mean that people don't bring drama here, but you don't see people cultivating it. You know what I mean? You hardly see anyone who's been hanging out for a while like call out someone else who's been hanging out for a while. But drama occurs and sometimes people bring it here. That doesn't make this a drama channel. It doesn't make me a drama person. Bad movies are great, says Wonderboy. Yeah, I agree. John says Tarantino recently said Toy Story is the best movie trilogy out there. I'd say Lethal Weapon. I've never seen Toy Story. Lethal Weapon lost me after the first two. Jaws 1, 2, and Jaws 3D. There you go. Unpopular opinion. Poor man says 80s were a bad movie golden age. Yeah, I think that might be true. Leprechaun. Jennifer Aniston's very first movie. Nightmare says, that's really strange to me, Yogi. I really see any drama on here. It just, every once in a while, someone will come in with their own personal drama or drama from another channel and sort of introduce it here. It happens. It's going to happen on every channel. It all depends on how you respond to it, though. If I defend it, if I defend myself and my channel, it just adds more to the drama. So, I do my best to just let it all slide. John Z says, you want an insanely bad movie. Watch Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. It's insane. That's weird because he doesn't drop too many bad movies, does he? Boy says, I'm doing my stretching in bed. Nightmare, I'm calling you out. My cultivation skills are better. What was the movie with about shark with octopus's legs? I haven't heard of that. Nightmare says, I don't mind drama sometimes, but I'm not sure I can handle Running Boy. Few people can handle Running Boy. Jaws 3D, in that movie, the shark seemingly fought with one family, like it had a beef. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Michael says, man, I have to. Leprechaun is my favorite classic horror movies. Is it because Jennifer Aniston is in it? Corner Boy says, Sharknado was so bad it was good. Danny's waving hi to everyone. Thank you, Danny. Leprechaun in the Hood is a masterpiece. Of course, all the Chucky movies are bad, good movies. Go like Clowns from Outer Space. That one I'm not familiar with. Michael says that's one of the reasons, but I like the movie altogether. You ever seen Phantasm before? I don't know if I would call that a bad movie, but it was a freaky movie. Videodrome, Deborah Harry. Who I'd like to tell people that I met, but I didn't actually meet her. I was working in a gym, probably 1990. She was in concert at a local venue, and she was in to get a workout. And I walked by, and there she was working out, and I said something very charming, um, and witty along the lines of, um, "Wow, you're Deborah Harry." To which her reply was, "I'm working out," and turned her back. So I didn't really meet her, but I did exchange words. Same with Carlos Santana and Grace Stick and Mickey Thomas of Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. Danny says, "Small face, I want to see Mad Face." We get Mad Face. He might show up. Michael says, "Hey, Danny." John says, "Sharknado was at least purposely bad. I mean, how do sharks even exist in a tornado? The physics are daunting." Well, if we go to quantum physics, are they still as daunting? I think if we stuck with classical physics, it would be impossible. But at least in quantum physics, there would be a probability for its occurrence. See? Poor man says it's possible, John. So, poor man's in Iowa. If there's one thing he knows, it's tornadoes. So if Dan says it's possible, I'm going to take him at his word. Michael says Sharknado was terrible. So I'm like $50 back. But seeing that awful film was ex girlfriend with an ex girlfriend. Gotcha. Yeah, for one, it had the guy from 90210 in it, right? It's like all you need to know. The best scene in Killer Clowns is when the detective is taking for Sonics of a giant clown foot at the crime scene. It's great. You guys remember Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Hobo with a shotgun. Rutger Hauer. It was Rutger Hauer, wasn't it? I haven't seen it. I've seen clips of it. Hobo with a Shotgun might be the single greatest title of any movie ever. Danny says, "I'm sorry, Yogi, I deleted the message." That's okay, Danny. Danny, you, my friend, never have to apologize here. I know you as someone who heart is always the purest of intention. John D says you paid $15 for movie Sharknado and expected Citizen Kane. Then I disagree. Hey Hunter, Weldon Carey is here. Says hey Eric. Let me click on Weldon Carey's channel. 4.14K, guys. One of the most impressive growths of a channel that I've been able to see. Micah says I just expected it to be watchable. Mars Attacks. Now that was supposed to be sort of purposely bad, wasn't it? Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Anyone seen Pig Hunt? I haven't seen Pig Hunt. Gordon Carey says, thank you, Eric. Hey, Poor Man's Jim. Survived the game with Coolio and Gary Busey. Two of the finest actors. If I'm not mistaken, Gary Busey might have been nominated, might have been a Golden Globe or something, for his portrayal of Buddy Holly when he actually could act. Quick exercise and improv, make a movie title out of an animal and natural disaster. Gerbilquake. Slothquake. I was thinking Gerbilquake. I like Slothquake. Moose Flood. Poor man says, yeah, he did a good job, Buddy Holly. And Kurt Russell did a good job as Elvis way back in the day. Hey, he was also good in Lethal Weapon. You know, Lethal Weapon was the first movie that showed Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in a fight scene. It had, I forget which Gracie brother, as its, it might have been Horian Gracie, as its stunt coordinator. Hey, Tremors. Tremors was a good movie. The first one, I liked that. I saw it with a girl that I was deeply, deeply in love with, and that makes every movie better. Tigerphone? Tigerphone? I haven't heard of that. I didn't realize there was so many Tremor movies. Hey, what was the one movie with Fred Ward from Tremors in it? Remo. The Adventures of Remo Williams. Do you guys remember that? Big Trouble, the best sort of bad movie ever. Big Trouble on Little China. Oh. They Live. Roddy Piper. The world's longest cinematic fight scene ever. Now they're all coming rushing back to me. Michael says, love the Tremors movies. I had to watch those every time they come on Sci-Fi. I did like I never saw the other ones. Dan says Ernest goes to jail. Ernest goes here. Ernest goes there. Ernest has been around. That all started with a commercial too. I don't even remember what the commercial was for any longer. John D says Red Dawn was the first PG-13 movie. Huh. Oh, Tigerphone was made up. Gotcha. Obey. Don't remember that. Tigerphone. Ernest is the man. He also played Jed Clampett in the Beverly Hillbillies movie. Ernest was Vern's annoying neighbor in commercials. Because he says, I think a hardware commercial in Ohio. Jim Varney, right? That was his name. So, what do you think if you were an actor and you actually studied it and you had dreams and you end up starring in a movie, Ernest Goes to Camp? You're stuck. You're Ernest forever. Successful? Or are you always got that? Why did this happen? How did this happen? Well, it's hard to believe he's been 25 years since he passed away, and 9 more days. He's only 50 years old. Oh, he was in a Toy Story. I didn't know that. So it says he had an established acting career before his fame as Ernest. He's a regular cast member of the Johnny Cash and Friends. He was on Fernwood Tonight. That was a good show. Yep, some people might be completely happy. You know, at least you're earning money doing what you love. I think that might be my take. Know what I mean, Vern? I remember that line. Who do you predict will be the Time Magazine Man of the Year 2025? It's a good question. I think it might be someone unexpected. I think it might be someone who might stand up to authority. You know, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see someone who was actually doing humanitarian acts, someone who's truly being kind. Michael says, you mentioned this before. Your favorite movie comedies of all times are Drop Dead Fred, and Master of Disguises, Mr. Bean. I've never seen a Mr. Bean movie. I do remember Drop Dead Fred. Oh, The Jerk is awesome. I quote that often. John Z says, The Jerk, I was born a poor black child. My favorite, though, is when he's leaving his girlfriend, Bernadette Peters. Um, and he says, I don't need you. I don't need this house. I don't need anything except for this lamp. And then the whole scene is, and this. I need this. I need this ashtray. Hilarious scene. Leo says, much love, Yogi. Hey, Leo. I caught the tail end of your workout today. Michael says, I got my rhythm. Steve Martin, so many excellent movies. Roxanne, LA Story, might be one of my all time favorite movies. LA Story. And I don't know, is Cat and Jack still here? He hates these paint cans. That's the thing. That's the thing about movies like The Jerk, movies like Blazing Saddle. So many classic lines that you could just over and over again. Guys, remind me the next time we're here with Cat and Jack to say LA Story. So I think we're going to wrap things up in just a few minutes. Jazzy's head again for Mongo. So here's a question. This is a this is a poor question for a vegan to ask. What was better, Mongo, Alex Cress punching out a horse in Blazing Saddles, or Arnold punching out a camel in the original Conan? Which, by the way, was an awesome movie. Michael says Steve Martin has a direct line to my funny bone. Absolutely. I'd love to stand up. Best decade for music. I'm really a fan of 60s music, from jazz to country to rock. Huge Beatles fan. But you know what? 70s had the, 60s, from rockabilly, um, soft rock, acid rock, the birth of heavy metal, the birth of punk, the birth of country music, or country rock. It's hard to beat the 60s, but the 70s did a lot of stuff too. And all of those heavy metal and punk came to the forefront, as well as glam rock, for those who like glam rock. Um, but now, Mocha, she would probably pick the 1980s, and that was a pretty diverse decade. And a lot of 80s music I didn't listen to in the 80s, uh, but I remember hearing it on MTV when it first came out. Um, I've gained a new appreciation. It was a good decade. Things petered out, started petering out in the 90s. Although the 90s was the last one that really had a movement. You had hip hop take forefront. You had grunge rock. What's a movement you have now in music? Seymour and Mel Brooks both. Absolutely Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is a national treasure. John C's, I'd say, half baked when he kills the police horse by feeding him popcorn because the horse was diabetic. I haven't seen that. Honestly, after Mongo punching a horse and Arnold punching a camel, it's been done. Anytime you do that again now, it's just going to be a rehash over what's already been done. '97 had Taco putting on the Ritz. Was that '90s or was that '80s? It also had Stephen Johansson, Hot, Hot, Hot. Stephen Johansson, who was, or no, sorry, he was calling himself, what was it? Poindexter? I might need to look that up. He was original Stephen Johansson, New York Dolls, glam rock. Dexter. Not a very good song. Todd Rundgren. I don't want to go to work. I just want to bang on my drum all day. That's not a bad way to spend a day. Buster Poindexter. There we go. I'm gonna have to look up Taco. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think Taco was '90s, but let's check for sure. Just give me a second, guys. It was in the 80s. Of course, it was done best um, by the monster and uh, Young Frankenstein. Best TV cameo by a rock star. It's a good question. I'm drawing a blank. Who was it? Who was on Ally and Beale for a while? The guy from New Jersey. John Z said, "I think it's just you and me." Yep, we wore him out. Stephen Johansson was in Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon too. 90 said House of Pain. The Squirrel in Christmas Vacation. That's a good one. Hey, Buddha. I have Rockstar. Why am I drawing a blank? Give me yours, and maybe that'll draw some more. Buddha says, "Hey, Yogi." Prince was in an episode of New Girl. I remember that. That was good. John Bon Jovi was in Ally McBeal. He actually acts pretty good. Buddha says, "How you doing, sir?" I'm doing pretty good, Buddha. We're getting ready to wrap things up in a few minutes. Good. I'm almost at an hour and a half. I was happy to be able to catch some of your live stream. Buddha says, "Here in the background, real busy, gotta fold clothes and get ready also." I will rewind and thank you, Yogi. Thank you, Buddha. Appreciate that. It was an easygoing conversation tonight. We had a lot of fun with John Z. Episode was called Slippery When Wet. Prince. Wonder what Prince would be doing now. Some say Prince might have been the single greatest halftime show ever. My favorite is when some of the world's greatest guitarists got together. Some of the huge rock stars, um, as a tribute to George Harrison. George Harrison's son, Danny Harrison, was also playing, and they did "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" and Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne. I think Bob Dylan might have been there. Um, Steve Winwood, Eric Clapton. I believe Eric Clapton was there. Um, and Prince. There was a few others. Um, but everyone took their turns. Everyone sang a little bit. It came time for the closing solo, and Prince just, again, the world's greatest guitarist, sat there with their mouth hanging open, watching what he did. At the end of the performance, Prince threw his guitar up in the air. It never came back down. As far as we know, it is still satelliting Earth. Jazzy says Prince did that show in Miami in the rain with 8-inch platform shoes. So yeah, Prince for the win. Absolutely. Buddha says, "B sent your info last night. I was in bed and just went in my messenger. I was going to add you, but she retracted. So you can just get my messenger from her, sir." Gotcha. Wonder why she retracted. Um, we'll probably talk with her tomorrow evening, so I'll make sure to ask. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap things up. It is honestly, it's just about bedtime for me. I go to bed early. I'm up early. I'll be up at about 2:15 or so. Buddha says, "Okay, sir. Have a good night. Have a best night. You too. Thank you very much." John says, "But Whitney Houston sang the best Super Bowl national anthem of all time." That's probably true because I think almost anything that she would sing would be the best of all time. You know what I mean? She had that voice. Even if you're not like a fan of her music, you can't doubt how beautiful her voice was. Buddha says, "Same here in a few." All right, John. Thank you. Always enjoy our conversations. John says, "Night, night, my man. Thanks for hanging out." Buddha, thank you, my friend. All my friends who joined, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this conversation. Sometimes you need things um, to just bring a smile to your face. John, that's no small thing, my friend. Uh, you made us smile tonight. Thank you. I will see everyone tomorrow, 5 a.m. Namaste.